Welcome back to the Queen Rising podcast. It's been a minute. We are coming out of eclipse season and it's been a lot, has it not? So today I want to talk about October, the astrology of October, and what you can expect, how you can align with the energy of the cosmos. And I do have a new feature to my newsletter. If you want regular journal prompts so you can work with the season of each astrological sign, like we just came out of Virgo season and now we're going into Libra season, I have journal prompts for you. You have to sign up on for my email list and I will send you monthly journal prompts. So if you listened to my last podcast episode, I talked about the Virgo new moon that we had in August. And then we also recently had another Virgo new moon a couple weeks ago. Eclipse season brings changes, and they're usually sudden electric changes. I did talk about it a little bit in my last episode. So we had a full moon in Pisces, which was a lunar eclipse. And then we had a new moon in Virgo, which was a solar eclipse. And I did another episode back in January about the North Node and the South Node. So when we have an eclipse, either the new moon or the full moon is sitting with either the North Node or the South Node. In the video I did back in January, I talked about the nodes. The South Node is in Virgo and the North Node is in Pisces. So you can go back to that video if you would like to revisit some of the themes that we have been navigating in 2025 going into 2026. So I haven't done a video in a month and I'm navigating a lot of personal things in my personal life. If you're not familiar with my story, I went through a divorce. It was finalized in October of 2024. So it's not even a full year yet, and I'm still navigating on finding my own way again and getting back on my feet, being on my own after being married for 13 years. And this eclipse season I didn't think it was going to affect me like it did, but it did. And one of the themes with the new moon in Virgo that we just had on September 21st it was at the 29th degree of Virgo. So that is an anaretic degree. It is very much about karma and closing out old cycles. So if you are navigating that, I just want to tell you that you're not alone. And there's a lot of heaviness in our world. I also am getting over a cold, so I apologize if you hear me sniffling in the background. However, this is the best day for me to film, and it's already been a month since I filmed, so I really wanted to get back to it. So let's talk about Libra season. First, I want to talk about the overall energy of Libra. So if you are a Libra, and happy birthday, your birthday's coming up. So the sun moved into Libra on September 22nd. Libra is an air sign. The air signs are all about the mind, thinking, weighing out pros and cons. They're very good at being objective. They're also very analytical. And Libra is specifically ruled by Venus. And Venus is a sign of the divine feminine. It is about pleasure, relationships, attraction, beauty. Libra rules the arts. Libra is represented by the scales. Libra is the only sign in the entire zodiac that's not represented by a living creature. It's represented by the scales, which Libra is all about balance, justice, fairness. It's about weighing out the pros and cons, but also it wants things to be in balance. Libra energy is very diplomatic, it's charming, it's cooperative and relational. Libra's very good at seeing all sides and, again, wanting that fairness and understanding how to find that balance. One of the strengths of Libra is she's a peacemaker, mediator. They often can find themselves being the bridge or the negotiator. They're very good at smoothing out tension and finding compromises. Libras have a strong taste for beauty and aesthetic. One of the very first natal chart readings that I did for a person I didn't know, she found me on Instagram, and when she was a Libra and she was a graphic designer. And I was not surprised because Libras are so good at aesthetics. So any design related fields are really good for Libra. So graphic design, interior design, makeup artists, anything where they're needing to look at the full picture, and they're really good at just understanding the balance. Photography, they are so charming and have this social grace about them. One of my very best friends is a Libra, and one thing she is amazing at and brilliant at is connections. And she's amazing in a room. She's not like the loudest person in the room, but she has a way of talking to people and making people feel at home, and also understanding how this person can help that person. And she's amazing at making those connections with group A and group B. Libras are very focused on fairness and justice. So social justice, things that are going on in our world right now, Libras are probably feeling that tension. And they're just really, Libras are really good in positions of politics because they're so good at smoothing out that tension and finding out compromises, making compromises, and how can we create win-win situations. And my friend Katrina, who's a Libra, that's one thing she's taught me, just knowing her and talking with her. She's always looking at how can we create win-win situations. Libras have a team-oriented mindset. So they're always thinking about collaborations. So some of the shadow sides of Libra is indecision. Because they're so good at weighing out the pros and the cons and seeing both sides of the situation, just to keep the peace, Libra often will compromise on their own needs and their own desires to make others happy. Libras can be people pleasers. They avoid conflict. Conflict can feel so uncomfortable. They avoid it at the cost of their own authenticity. Superficial harmony is another shadow side where they're avoiding going deep just to maintain surface level harmony. They can become over dependent in relationships because Libra rules in relationships. She can become a little too codependent. So let's talk about some key dates for the month of October. On October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries. A full moon is when the moon is sitting opposite of the sun. With the sun in Libra, the full moon happens in Aries, which is the polar opposite. So Libra is all about relationships and how can we work together. And Aries is all about the self. A full moon in Aries often looks at where are you not considering your own needs, your own wishes for the good of the world, for the good of others. And as we get closer to that full moon, I'll look at that chart specifically. On October 13th, Mercury moves into Libra. So Mercury is a sign of communication, how we think, how we speak. And right now it's in Virgo, but it will be moving into Libra. So the second half of the month, we'll be thinking focused on relationships, focused on social justice and fairness, and how can we benefit each other. On October 21st, we have a new moon in Libra. And the new moon, we have a new moon when the moon and the sun are sitting together. New moon is a point of planting seeds, fresh starts, new cycles. So any new energy you want, new seeds you want to plant around relationship building, this could be a really good time to do that. On October 22nd, which is the day after the new moon, the sun moves into Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, which is all about intimacy, connection, your intuition. Scorpio specifically focuses on transformation. And then the very, very end of the month, on October 29th, Mercury will move into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It is bold, it's unapologetic. And again, we talked about Mercury is the sign of communication. So at the end of October, you can expect things to heat up a little bit. So here are a few journal prompts for you to really reflect on for Libra season. Where in my life do I crave more balance? What small shifts can I make to help restore it? In what ways do I tend to overcompromise? And how can I honor my own truth while still being compassionate? Where am I avoiding conflict? And what is this avoidance costing me? An affirmation you can use is, I create harmony in my life by both honoring myself and others. As I mentioned, I will have more journal prompts for you when you sign up to my email list, and more affirmations that you can use to work with this if you want to take this